Can dark-skinned black women get pretty privilege? Yes. Hello. I get it, right? You can be dark-skinned and beautiful and get pretty privilege because people acknowledge your beauty. But there is a layer to pretty privilege. When you are pretty and light-skinned, you receive a certain favor or privilege over the pretty dark skins, because a lot of times the pretty light skin, or let's just say the average light skin, would get more privilege than the drop dead gorgeous dark skin. That doesn't mean that the drop dead gorgeous dark skin doesn't get privilege. Like, let's be clear. It's gonna get privileges for being drop dead gorgeous. But the mid light skin, who's gonna get more privilege out of that? They're automatically gonna see the light skin as more pretty, even if she's mid. Oh, and we could listen. It's okay to be real about that. It's okay to be honest about that, because when we're honest about these conversations, it keeps these things in the forefront of our mind. Because a lot of times it is subconscious, because it's so ingrained into this society. Sometimes you don't even notice. It just slips under the rug. You just, for some reason, you just like this person more. For some reason, you're just more attracted to this person. For some reason, you want to follow this person and see this person, and you believe this person and you like this person. And you don't even realize that there's colorism attached to it. Okay. A lot of times we like to act like colorism does not exist, but this is a prime example of colorism and pretty privilege. Someone who is aware of what colorism is and anti-blackness and discrimination against darker skinned, kinky, coily hair, more West African featured looking black women. Okay, because we're gonna break it all the way down. It's you look West African.
But me and Cheyenne used to get in a lot of arguments about shit. And one of the things that she said she wanted to do was she wanted to be the next Iyanla Vanzant. So she went to a lot of her courses, studied up under her. Now, I don't know if she graduated or not. We cannot get a psychology license with our degree because the school lost its accreditation. And that's really fucked up. It's really fucked up. So we paid a lot of money for that shit. But what I'll tell you is this. I still can. But we'd have to go back to school and do a program. And that's how we would get our degree.
But prior to writing my book, I went out to Iyanla Vanzant, which is a mentor of mine, Oprah Winfrey. I did workshops with them, and I worked side by them. And I remember going to Iyanla Vanzant's very first workshop. It was 7 days. And when I got there, I cried from day 1 till day 5 until I got home. And I had a headache because I had been crying more than I've ever cried in my life. I was just so drained. I slept for about 3 days and I had this excruciating headache. Yeah, it was really intense. But that was my healing journey. And so I say that to say, once I got back and I got this healing and I got this, what I call God's peace and God's grace within myself, and I was in alignment, which is then harmony, right?
Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. She is a holistic, I love that, psychologist and a transformational speaker. She bridges clinical psychology with spirituality, mindfulness, and self-awareness. What are you personally cleaning up to move from 25 into 26? What are you cleaning up?
I'm not clearing up anything. I'm actually taking and adding to my 2026. For me, I'm adding faith being even more of an action word in my life, and do the things that I want to do and not always the things that I have to do. But here's the thing, and not feel guilty when doing that. I want people to know that you're walking on water doesn't have to be a literal walking on water like Peter. You're walking on water is getting yourself out of where you didn't want to be in 2025 and into where you want to be and who you want to be in 2026.
I think one of the things that I would encourage people to clean up is comparing yourself to anyone else. Don't compare your water, because I may be walking on salt water. You may be walking on river water. Somebody may be walking on the Indian Ocean. Somebody else is walking on a cup of water, but it's all purposeful. So let's all clean up, comparing our water, comparing our shoes, comparing our walk.
Naka, you're back again, talking to us about Cheyenne Bryant. Everyone else in Black YouTube has completely moved on. Why are you still talking to us about this? And ladies and gentlemen, this episode, in my opinion, is the most interesting. Why did Cheyenne Bryant have the balls enough? What gave her the confidence to put herself out there, to pretend to be a licensed therapist with a doctorate? And this goes back to her love, her obsession, her perhaps admiration for Iyanla Vanzant. Now, you guys know, because I have a video about this, that I love Iyanla. Okay, so when I heard this, I perked up and I knew that I was gonna put this on this channel. There's no way I can stop talking about Cheyenne Bryant without talking about this. To me, this is the most interesting part of this story, is the way in which Cheyenne Bryant tried to become Iyanla Vanzant, but failed.
Another thing that Amanda Seales and Cheyenne Bryant have in common is pretty privilege, is light skin privilege. It really is. You think a person of my skin tone could get away with that shit? You think a person of my skin tone could get away with what Cheyenne Bryant is doing? That's why there's no such thing as pretty punishment. There's no such thing as light skin punish. There's no such thing. There's just no such thing. The same way there's no such thing as reverse colorism. There's no such thing. Because y'all are able to get so much leeway because of the way you look. But she's gonna defend Cheyenne Bryant, there are too many receipts of her being harmful. But she's defending her. Because that's her fellow psychologically unwell, narcissistic, light-skinned sister. Two grifters saying, yeah, girl. Two grifters. Just grifter university. My goodness.
The colorism of it all, okay? The reason why Dr. Cheyenne Bryant went viral, even though she don't say nothing but word salad and shit we already know. The reason why she went viral and Dr. Raquel Martin is being called a hater and angry and jealous, when all she came on to do was clarify everything that Dr. Cheyenne Bryant said, which was harmful and misleading and false, okay, and dangerous. It's because of colorism, okay? And we haven't had the colorism conversation for a long time. I laid that to rest. I laid the colorism cloak down. I felt like I did it. I came, I saw, I conquered with the colorism, okay? So I felt like as a community, we got it. But every so now and then, I'm gonna remind y'all, that's colorism. That's anti-blackness. I'm gonna be here to remind you, okay, when you need reminding. Even in that conversation on the Joe Budden's podcast, it's like they had to keep reminding her, like, but hey, you are extra pretty. Like, you have a certain pretty privilege. Now, the problem with pretty privilege, right? Because let's be clear, if you are pretty, there is a privilege that comes with that. Let's be clear. There's an underlining of colorism with pretty privilege. So when I talk about acting light-skinned or whatever you saw in the thumbnail, I know some people, especially the light-skinned people, are going to lose their mind in the comment section. Please don't, because this is a term in the Black community that I have heard. It's a colloquial, I can never say that, is that term. And it really is meant to describe a person who is not necessarily light-skinned. Again, we're talking about acting. So a person who is embodying the stereotypes of what we believe about light-skinned people. And I know this is uncomfortable when I talk about colorism, and I'm going to be getting into featureism and texturism. It makes people uncomfortable because for whatever reason, as a community, we want to act like we don't know that this is a thing. Like, we have to be honest about the fact that there's a history, and I'm not going to get on that, but there's a whole history when it comes to how light-skinned folks are treated, which in some cases spills over into how they feel about themselves, how people treat them, how they see themselves, and perhaps their level of believing that they are superior at times. And we saw this not long ago with this woman who, wasn't necessarily a beauty queen, who was saying, all this stuff about herself. And we're just like, ma'am, but again, being light skinned can do that. Because a lot of times when you have the lighter skin, you don't even really have to look that good. It's just like that alone, sometimes coupled with a looser hair texture, can give people a sense and a feeling of being better, and other people treat them as such. Other people treat them better. You have light skin, you have the looser curl pattern, and then you top that off with more Eurocentric features. And all of this is what Cheyenne Bryant has. And so I think, and remember, this is just my theory, and this is opinion-based commentary, but I think that another way that Cheyenne Bryant failed to become, quote, become Iyanla is her thinking that her looks was going to get her farther than it did. Now, you're thinking, well, Naked, clearly her looks got her far, because we all know who she is. You've been making all these videos about her. Like, yes, her looks did get her far, but did her looks keep her there? It didn't. Because if you think about Iyanla's career spans probably at least 30 years. I found out about Iyanla when I was in high school, when my mom bought me one of her books. Cheyenne Bryant we've only really known her for like 2 years. Now, granted, she's been around for longer, but we've only known who she is, most of us, since Cam Newton's, when she was on Cam Newton's podcast. So already, because that was maybe 2.5 years ago when she was on Cam Newton's podcast, already she has been essentially canceled. So she can't even last 2 or 3 years. So again, it's like she wants what Iyanla has, not realizing that took years for Iyanla to build. And Iyanla had to walk a straight line. You're probably wondering, nigga, what are you talking about? You were just talking about colorism, and now you're over here. There's a connection. Iyanla had to walk a straight line for the most part. And this is what darker skinned women often talk about, is not having the luxury and the privilege to mess up, to make all these mistakes, it goes into the whole, as Black people, we know often we have to be better, quote unquote, than our white counterparts to get what they have as far as opportunities. I would say that within the Black community, if you're looking at color, darker skinned folks have to, quote, be more careful, because they can sometimes, especially if you're a woman, more easily get canceled, because they don't have that privilege of using their skin or their eye color or their hair texture or their features to try to make it seem like they are safe, right? To try to make it seem like somehow that makes them more credible. So I think that Cheyenne Bryant actually thought that she was better than Iyanla. I think that in her mind, she was like, if Iyanla was here, I'm gonna be way up here. Like, if Iyanla did a little bit, I'm gonna do a lot, right? And I think in her mind, she thought that she was gonna go further than Iyanla, because this is Cheyenne Bryant talking. Look at me. Look at me. Look how beautiful I am. Look at my body. Look at my hair texture, my features. I have everything. Why wouldn't the world love me? And she missed a very critical step, which is the fact that, again, Iyanla rooted her identity in her work, her books, her spirituality, her courses, whatever she was. She has an entire empire. Like, her show, Oprah would not have trusted her, if she wasn't credible. So she missed a critical step. Cheyenne Bryant focused on her looks more, when Iyanla opens up her mouth to talk, it makes sense. It's coherent. And what she says, in my opinion, is typically rooted in some level of wisdom, backed up by some credible source. And again, even if you don't like her or don't agree, I think for the most part, the general sentiment is that she's respected in the Black community. The very thing that Cheyenne Bryant thought would save her career and catapult her all the way to the top contributed to her downfall. There's nothing wrong with being attractive, but there is something wrong with thinking that how you look is going to sort of carry you through, and also thinking that viral talking points is somehow going to, skyrocket your career to the next level. That is essentially what she was leaning on. I think one thing that stands out about Iyanla is her ability to go viral. Even at like 70 years old, people are always so interested in what she has to say. So I think the first misstep with Cheyenne Bryant is that she focused on the virality of Iyanla and Iyanla's ability to capture attention and the attention of the Black community without focusing on the root, what I think the root is, which is the spiritual component. I believe that Cheyenne Bryant focused a lot on Iyanla's relationship with celebrities and the fact that she's a celebrity life coach. She's not, yes, I think at some point maybe she was coaching just regular people, but eventually she moved into the realm of working with celebrities. She had a show called Fix My Life. And I think that was very attractive to Cheyenne Bryant. I think she wanted the proximity to celebrities and the entertainment industry. Clearly, she was in music videos, so that probably gives you some idea that she had an interest in entertainment. And again, Cheyenne Bryant, this desire to go viral each time. It looks good, and she probably thinks, well, Iyanla is always going viral, so why can't I go viral? I don't get the sense that Iyanla tries to necessarily go viral. Whereas you can actually see Cheyenne Bryant trying to go viral, saying things to, get a rise out of people and what is that called? Rage bait folks. I want to explore a very uncomfortable part of this conversation, which is colorism. Cheyenne Bryant, at that time, wanted to be like Iyanla Vanzant. Miss Iyanla Vanzant. That is who Cheyenne Bryant said she wants to be, or at least wanted to be. Now, what's interesting about this is that Iyanla, you guys know that I love Iyanla. I have a whole video about her. She has 3 honorary doctorate degrees, but she has real credentials. She is a lawyer. She finished law school. She identifies as a spiritual life coach. So even Iyanla herself, with years of experience, even going back to her time on Oprah, and a proven track record for being credible, and even people who don't like her, no one has disputed the fact that Iyanla is a credible person, someone who has earned everything that she has. Could Iyanla have swindled the Black community the way Cheyenne Bryant did? And most people are saying no, because of Iyanla's color as a dark-skinned woman, her features, her age. So what this all exposes is not only an issue with colorism in terms of the things that lighter-skinned people can get away with, but it also exposes something called the halo effect, which relates to when a person has more conventionally attractive features and body, people are more likely to believe them. So Cheyenne Bryant has the body that a lot of Black women want, a lot of women want. She has more Eurocentric features. Her hair texture is, so what this whole story is exposing is how colorist and featurist and texturist
we are as a society, as a community. And it's exposing the fact that a woman who doesn't look like Cheyenne Bryant would never be able to get away with what Cheyenne Bryant has done. Even Iyanla does not go by doctor. I mean, people might call her that because she does have honorary doctorates, but herself, she's very humble, and she just tells people to call her a coach or a spiritual life coach. So even at her level, years of experience, a TV show, books, all the things, even Iyanla does not want to misrepresent herself. I think this might be all that I have to say on this topic until new details come out. And so I have one more video that will not be directly related to Cheyenne Bryant, but it will be, I'll still include it as part of this this kind of series, if you will, that I've been doing. But I will be moving on very soon. I will be going back to the Slim Thick series and the Curated Legacy podcast. And there's so many other things that I want to talk about. So please do hype this video. Also, click the join button at the top of your screen next to my thumbnail photo. If you're not subscribed, do that first. If you are subscribed, hit that join button so you can become a Black and Invisible channel member. If you are a channel member, you will get exclusive access to member-only videos. And yeah, I would love for you to join. I want to give a special shout out to all Black and Invisible members. And I want to thank you so much for supporting the channel. Becoming a channel member and joining the Black and Invisible membership is a great way to support this channel. I have a book on Amazon about being an invisible Black woman. I also have an Amazon storefront. You can go into the description box and click the links to access both of those things, as well as a link to become a channel member. I have been a coach for almost 11 years, primarily academic coaching. But a few years ago, almost 4 years ago now, I launched my YouTube coaching service. And so if you are interested in getting started and growing your own YouTube channel and becoming monetized, please do go into the description box and click the link to my website. You can check out my services, check out my entire website, and see everything I have to offer with regard to my YouTube coaching and consulting service. I am also on Instagram, so feel free to give me a follow over there. Like, share, and subscribe. My name is Naka, and I am here to make the invisible visible about Black women. I highlight the things that Black women typically wouldn't tell you. And as always, stay tuned for more videos.
Said you needed space. Said you needed more time to think. So you went away. But you still would stay in my dream. Now you're back for more. Why you in my reality? My head closed the door. Even though my heart just won't leave. That was then, can't go back. Hurt so bad, had to block out the memory. If we try again, start from scratch. You wanna pick up where we left off, but you've been gone away. You've been gone away so long. Since you've been gone away, you've been gone away so long. I forgot your middle name, I forgot your birthday. You still wear cologne the same, like it in the worst way. You've been gone away. Since you've been gone away.